who are we to tell him, actually, no, you're not Jamaican, just because he's white?
When did you decide that you were Jamaican? Was it
14 months of Black history? My whole schooling was Black history. So I learned everything about the culture. So when I'm in school, we don't have a month to say this is white history month because we have to accept that white. Yeah, I don't care about that. I'm there to learn.
Everyone. Now, you can't imagine all these 4 people were actually destroyed by one person, and that is Yadi White. He really destroyed them about the culture.
Do you believe that you are part of Black culture?
I believe I'm a part of the Jamaican culture.
Okay.
What's the difference to you?
The difference to me is that what is the Black culture, you cannot just define Black culture as Black culture because it varies. I relate with the Jamaican culture because it's a culture that I grew up in. You know, we have Black British culture, so that's a different thing. But to me, Black British culture is a merge of like Jamaican, Caribbean, and Africa and England together. That makes the Black British culture. That's what I would say. But I cannot define in one sentence to say this is Black culture because it's.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
When did you decide that you were Jamaican? Was it when you came back over here? Was it when someone asked you? Like, was there an experience where you just felt, I identify as a Jamaican man?
Let me explain to you there. And I don't know if I've ever said this on an interview anywhere yet, but my mother, before me, she had a miscarriage. So when she was pregnant with me, she could have gave birth to me in Jamaica.
Right.
But where we live, the hospitals weren't great. So obviously she has that opportunity to leave. Once she had me and did the checks, 3 months on a plane back to Jamaica. So from there until what I know has been that. So it's not like I wake up one day and say, oh, 5-year-old, I want to be Jamaican. Oh, 10-year-old, I think I'm Jamaican. 12-year-old,
cool.
I'm definitely Jamaican.
Yeah.
It's just what's inside. You understand what I mean, brother?
To call yourself a Jamaican, that's interesting because you said that you weren't born there. But I guess if the community to which you kind of were raised in, which is Jamaica, obviously, if they've embraced you, the large swaths of them and stuff, and if you've got citizenship, I don't know if you have, but yeah, from where I come.
Harry, do you have a Jamaican passport?
Yes, I do.
So I find it interesting as well because how do you decide? White Yardie, I'm from Jamaica. My grandparents are from Jamaica.
Yeah.
My dad's born there. My mum was born here. You probably would know more about Jamaica than me, just because I'm Black now. No one, if I said I'm Jamaican, no one's going to question me. It is, you're just Jamaican.
Exactly.
But you probably know how to cook yard food. You know how to do all
That's
of that
my life.
better than me. So then, who are we to tell him, actually, no, you're not Jamaican, just because he's white?
Is I went to school in Jamaica, so when people are when people here are talking about, oh, you cannot represent the culture, you're not from Jamaica, not this, like that, you know nothing about the Black culture, and I'm like, you were born here, you were raised here, you went to school here. That means if you went to school for like, how long do you go to school when you're here? Like what?
Too long.
Like, how many years? Just say like 12 years or something.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
So 14 years. Realistically, they only taught you, what, 14 months of Black history. My whole schooling was Black history. So I learned everything about the culture. So when I'm in school, we don't have a month to say this is white history month because we have to accept that white. Yeah, I don't care about that. I'm there to learn, and I'm not even there to learn. I'm just going with what I know is life.
Would you say that someone like White Yardie is culture appropriating?
No, not at all. I think that, you know, not least because he actually has some connection to many of these parts of the world, but he clearly doesn't have intentions to denigrate, to humiliate, or to make a particular culture inferior in the eyes of the majority of society. He's clearly doing it from a sense of appreciation and a sense of sharing love, and I think that that is something that is positive.
But White Yardie, Harry, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, and I think that you've been a very valued member of this panel. Also, after the break,
we just clapped.
I know, for the white man. Clap your cheeks for the white man. No. After the break, we'll be joined by the gorgeous rapper Miss Banks, who...
Now, it is high time that we realize there is a difference between race and culture. Every country, every society every group of people have their own culture. It might be unique or same to the one you're used to. Now, this is a video of now White Triade, a guy who has been in Jamaica for long with his mom. Apparently, he was not born there, but he was raised there. Now, it really talks about how many people are being confused. Now, when he says he's Jamaican, so many people do not believe it because he's a white, he comes from Britain. Now, this is a very common notion that we know. Some people always associate a country with a group of people or with a race instead. Now, we all know that Jamaica is one of the fewest countries that are dominated by so many groups of people. Now, we have the Indians, we have the Chinese people, we have the Irish people. Now, we have Germans in the same Jamaica. We have British people, we have Americans in Jamaica. Now, in this whole situation, you are going to realize that Jamaica is one very big island with so many groups of people, and therefore there are so many cultures, because you will realize that some people, like the Chinese, have actually, some have blended with the culture that exists in Jamaica, while others have carried along with their culture in Jamaica. And this tells us a lot about Jamaica. And in this context, in this whole situation, you're going to realize that Jamaica is therefore dominated by different cultures, though we have the dominant culture, which is the Jamaican culture, which actually belongs to the black people who live in Jamaica, those ones that were actually shipped from Africa, from Ghana and Nigeria, then taken there as slaves. Now, that's the dominant group of people in Jamaica. Now, White Triade really had differences with his own people from British, while they tried challenging him not to be a Jamaican. Now, they have all the reasons, according to them, that he is a British guy instead of a Jamaican. Now, being raised in Jamaica for all those years makes him a Jamaican. Now, there are so many groups of people, there are so many Chinese who are now enjoying the citizenship of Jamaica. We have the Indians who have been there, they are now Jamaicans. We have the Irish people who even speak with the same accent that Jamaicans speak with. Now, all this tells us a lot about Jamaica. All this says that Jamaica is one out of all these groups. They are one. There is no need to try and differentiate, bring different differences, and try to have bridges on whatever they have been having. Do not try to like to separate whatever Jamaicans have been having. Now, there is this notion. We all know that many people associate countries with the races they come from. Now, if I speak from a guy and I say I come from America, most guys will be like, yes, you come from America, but what country of Africa do you come from specifically before you went to America? This actually says a lot. I can be a US citizen, but with my color. I can be a Canadian, but with my color. I can be a Mexican, but with my color. I can't be a Jamaican. With my color, it doesn't really mean that if you come from Jamaica, you must be black. It doesn't really mean that if you come from Dominican Republic, then you must be a Latino. No, all these things matters a lot when we come together and put aside the differences we have regarding the races we come from. Now, I'm really proud of White Triade, the way he really explained himself, and it puts more sense. If you've watched the video, then you're going to realize there is more sense in whatever he says. Now, any culture should not be related by the rest of the people. I know we might say the Jamaican culture is actually dominated by the African culture because they are blacks. In some cases, I might agree, But there are those things that Jamaicans do that they have copied from their masters, their colonial masters, I mean. They have copied from their friends, their neighbors, Dominican Republic, and all those. It doesn't really mean that a culture should go with a race. Now, a race is a different thing. A culture is a different thing. Now, a culture is the way some group of people have chosen to live their lives, either their social life, politically, or economically. And that does not mean that it should be associated with your melanin. I mean, with your if you are melanated or not. Now, all these things are the ones that try to breach and maybe create enmity between those good people who have been living together for quite some time. When we come up and say, no, you are white, you shouldn't be here, or you are this, you should not have been here, this is what fails and brings weaknesses in the unity that some group of people have been having. I'll always say, Jamaica, out of all those groups, Jamaica, you are one. Out of all, we are one. That's the motto in Jamaica. And please hold to your motto. And may peace, love, and unity prevail in Jamaica. May you enjoy the calmness. May you enjoy zero wrangles, zero state of wars in your country. Peace, love, and unity. Wagwan. One love.